In this video, we will go over the Astra Malorum Easter egg and the boss fight solo with no GUMS. The boss fight, in my opinion, currently is significantly easier in co-op or cursed and or both. So if you can manage to do any of those things, then great. But this guide will still apply for the standard version of the game, and all gameplay will be in standard. For your loadout, I recommend either the XR3 Ion or the M10 Breacher as your loadout weapon. Frenzied Guard, or bring in Mr. Peaks with the Mystery Box Augment, then switch to Frenzied later in the game, and whatever else you want. GUMS are not required, but if you want to bring some for the boss fight, bring Power Keg, Aftertaste, and whatever else you want, maybe Idolize, whichever you prefer. The weapons we'll be using in the boss fight will be the Jager 45, which is a wall buy in the spawn room. So the loadout weapon will be a secondary workhorse weapon. In your gunsmith, the attachments we want to put on the Jager are the Monolithic Suppressor, the Skull Splitter Barrel, which is the Prestige attachment, the 15-round extended mag, the dual-wield stock, and the FMJ Fire mod. Make sure you save that as your zombie build. If you're going to use the Ion Sniper, then for your attachments, use a close-range optic and any suppressor, the 20-round extended mag, and the FMJ Fire mod, and whatever other attachments you want to put on there. If you choose to bring in the Breacher shotgun, for the attachments use the suppressor, a barrel that gives you more ammo, and the 12-gauge slug, whatever other attachments you have as well. For augments, we're going to use Quick Revive with Equivalent Exchange. Juggernog is just personal preference. I just really like using reactive armor and hardened plates with durable plates. Vulturade with Armormatic, and Picky Eater with Condor Reach. PhD with Dr. Ram, and Environmentalist with Tribologist. Mule Kick, I prefer multi-pack, but Pack Mule also works great as well, with Plate Hunter and Kickback. Deadshot with Deadhead and Dead Break, with Dead Draw. Double Tap with Double Impact or Double Standard, with Double Time and Double Caliber. And Wisp T with Zombie Sitter. We'll be using Shatter Blast with the Blast Repair and Blast Boost and Blast Through if you haven't unlocked. Field upgrades, Mr. Peaks is optional if you want to use Peaks' Favor for the Mystery Box for early game, but the main one is Frenzied Guard with Frenzy Fire and Extension with Dual Layer. Starting off in the spawn, just get some points and open up the right side of the map. In the Speed Cola here on the left, there is this display case with a saw inside. Break the glass and pick it up. If you're on round 2 or 3, there's a free perk Easter egg involving your melee by picking up this disc on the wall and placing it in the gramophone and getting melee kills close to it. It's not necessary, but it's there if you want it. Open up the map to Pack-a-Punch and find the Pack-a-Punch pieces. The pieces have random spawns, but they are in the general areas of the Luminarium and the Machina Astralis rooms. They are found on dead bodies. There's 3 locations for each of them, but if you take too long looking for it, the game will just show you where it is and highlight it after a minute or so. Pick up the pieces and place them in the pipe organ and defend it. Once that's done, Power and Pack-a-Punch are on. Now in this pap room, you will need to find some steaming pipes and shoot them. You need to shoot 5 in rapid succession of each other. You can listen around this room for where they are if you have your sound on, but here are all the locations. There's 2 on the left side, 1 on the pillar and 1 on the wall. There's 3 on the right side, 1 on the close corner wall, 1 on the far corner wall, and the 1 in the room with the fast travel portal. And there's 2 in the circle area below Pack-a-Punch and 2 above Pack-a-Punch. Once you have shot 5 in rapid succession, then the telescope will move. You can actually interact with it here and it will enter a telescope vision. Zombies will ignore you here, so don't worry. You're going to be looking for 2 things, the Sun and Mars. You can use the telescope once per round, so see if you can at least remember where both of these things are. Now you will notice there is a very tanky enemy called Oscar. We need to kill him in 3 different ways using different hidden traps around the map that will automatically kill him. You can do these in any order, but I will show you the order I like to do it in. So we're going to bring Oscar to the pap room. You don't need to damage him or anything, just bring him in the center platform and then interact with the telescope, find the sun, and place your icon on it. It will kick you out of the telescope and a laser will appear. Keep Oscar in that laser for as long as you can and eventually he will die to it automatically. That's 1 of 3 Oscar kills. Now while we wait for Oscar to spawn again, we can get some parts. Pack-a-Punch your loadout gun and put Cryo Freeze on it, there are some purple crystals around the map that you can destroy with your gun. If you shoot it with a cryo freeze weapon, it will drop a special crystal. Do that 3 times for the 3 crystals. Now head to the spawn and with your pack-a-punched weapon, shoot the hood of Old Tessie a couple times and will pop out a battery. Pick it up and some zombies will spawn while this happens. Now look around the map, and in any of the outside areas, there are street lamps that are on or off. One of them will be blinking. So look around the map for it and look for that blinking lamp and shoot it. A wire will pop out and you can pick it up. These can literally be in any of the outside areas. They can be in the spawn, the Wisp T area, the middle area, etc., etc. The final part we need is from Oscar, so next time he spawns, shoot his UFO drone that follows him and it will drop a damaged drone part. So with Oscar spawned, take him to the Speed Cola room and there is this model rocket. Interacting with the display will set off the rocket. You need to get Oscar in the blast circle on the ground, and when the rocket explodes, make sure he's in that radius. If he dies, it was done correctly. If not, get 3 more cryo crystals and then try again next round. Now for the 3rd Oscar kill, place the parts in the Luminarium trap, then get Oscar in the room and activate the trap. Keep him in this trap room and eventually he will die. Now, if you killed Oscar with all 3 of the traps, then he will drop the Wonder Weapon on that 3rd kill. I personally like having the Wonder Weapon as my mule kick weapon, but we'll get to that later. Now that we have the Wonder Weapon, we need to wait for Oscar to spawn again. When he does, we need to sneak up behind him and eavesdrop on his radio logs. Basically, for his lighting, he'll have 2 different lights. If he's looking at you and is red, then he's targeting you and you cannot do this. But if you're behind him, he's unaware of you, and his lights are yellow, then you're good. Stay in this position and make sure he doesn't see you. I recommend turning on subtitles for this part. You are waiting for him to say his log about Elimination 20, Dr. Thurston. He will say 3 planets in rapid succession. Remember which planets he said. You need to translate those planets into the numbers based on their distance from the sun. I pray to God you have graduated kindergarten and not a Redditor, and need a fucking chart for your planets, but I guess this is preschool, so here you go. Mercury is 1, Earth is 3, Jupiter is 5, Neptune is 8, yeah, we're all adults here, like seriously. But anyways, if Thurston says, for example, Saturn, Venus, Mars, then your code is 624. We're going to input the code into this machine in the Pack-a-Punch room. If done correctly, this platform will drop down. Climb up onto it and pick up this key. Head over to the Machina Australis area and there is this Cryopod. Interact with it to open it up and quickly hold the interact button to saw off the brain. Oscar will spawn here, but while you're doing this sawing animation, you're actually invincible. So just take that brain over to the Luminarium and interact with this brain jar. Interact with it again to start a lockdown. You need to defend the brain from zombies attacking it, so just use your Gershes or your monkeys or Frenzy Guard or whatever. Once it's done, pick it up and you will move slowly like you're carrying something heavy. Head over to the Machina Australis room and place it on this computer. Interact with it again to reveal the reading list. On the screen you will see Dr. Thurston's reading list and then list a bunch of book names. Remember the order. There is a library with each of the books on the shelves that correspond with the statues in the same library. Here's a chart for which statues match which books. There's 3 books per statue. So if your list is something like Veil, Moon, Ashes, Singularity, Codex, then you will hit the statue close to the door twice, the statue on the far wall once, and the statue in the corner twice. The reading list always goes in that order, where it lists the books that are going to be on the close right statue, and then the next few books will be on the far wall statue, and the last books will always be in that corner statue. So it'll always be in that order, if that helps you remember. You can get a minimum of 3 names and a maximum of 6 names, so if you mess up, you have to pass the round and try again. If done correctly, you can climb up this ladder, and at the top of the ladder is the planet Neptune, which you can pick up and place on this arm in the main room. Now let's go get a few things. First, head to the PAP room and look in the telescope and look for Mars. Center your icon on Mars and note the 4-digit coordinates labeled DEC and remember those 4 numbers on that bar. Now head back to the planet room and on this console, type in those 4 numbers. Now let's look for the planet papers. On each of the papers, there will be a picture of a planet. It will either be Mars, Saturn, or Neptune, and 2 letters that will match a compass direction, either northwest, northeast, southwest, or southeast. Remember which planet corresponds with which direction. The planet papers are found, one in the Luminarium on this table near the seats on the right side of the room, here in the library on this table, and in the planet room on this table. If you placed Neptune on the arm, then you can shoot the planets to make them rotate around the room. On the bottom of this contraption, you will notice a compass. So get each planet in its correct direction that you wrote down. Not all of the arms annoyingly match up perfectly with the directions on the compass, but find which one is close enough. Once you have lined up the planets properly and enter the Mars code, we can enter a lockdown. I recommend having Gershes in full ammo for this. Interact with the brain computer on the right side to start the lockdown. There will be a purple portal charging, and Oscar will throw UFOs that make an alarm sound, slowly flying towards the portal. You need to destroy these before they hit the portal. It's okay if like 1 or 2 hit it, but any more than that and you will probably fail. The hitbox on them is a little weird, so just take your time to actually hit it. If no UFOs interrupt the portal, it will take a little over a minute or so. You have 2 minutes in total to charge the portal, or else you'll fail. If done correctly, you will get sucked into the portal and enter Mars. The brain jar will fall from the sky. Pick it up and place it in this console. Then hold the interact button again and it will summon a biblical angel artifact looking thing. You will hear a weird bird-like calling noise, and that means this artifact is active for a minute or so. To draw it closer to you, you need to shoot these 4 pillars outside of the map. You need to shoot the far right one first, then the far left one, then the close right one, then the close left one. And then there's one more pillar above the portal you just came from. Shoot that. You need to shoot them in relatively close succession, and you can either hit them from the window barriers where the zombie spawns are, or actually if you're up by where you place the brain, then you can see them all from there as well. If you fail or don't do it fast enough, your character will say a quote. But if you shot all of the pillars, the artifact will fly above you in the map. It will slowly start flying away and flying around in different locations, so what you need to do is jump up in the air and see if you can catch it. If you can't retrieve it, then shoot that pillar above the portal again to reset its position. I always try to catch it. If I don't catch it, shoot it again, just reset that loop. Anyways, with the low gravity, you need to jump and catch the artifact by interacting with it in midair. If you picked it up, then place it in this console in the right corner of the room. Now with your wonder weapon, you need to shoot the 5 pillars in this area with your actual wonder weapon, specifically the rings at the top. You will notice the UFOs flying around the rings, and if done correctly. This will light up the pillars and make some loud noises. Light up the 5 main ones in the map and then head back to the Pack-a-Punch room. On the Oregon, there is this screen that will display symbols if you interact with it. There will be 4 symbols displayed and a missing symbol somewhere in that sequence. You know which one it is if you hear a note on the Oregon, but you don't see a symbol. That is your missing symbol. So there's 5 symbols total in this sequence, so remember that order and include the missing symbol by filling in the blanks in that sequence. So let's just say the hourglass symbol is your missing symbol, and that's the 3rd one in the sequence. Then yeah, you get it, hopefully. Go back to Mars and interact with the pillars with their symbols and the order displayed on the Oregon. Here's a chart to help you out. If you inputted a correct symbol, you will notice the device you place the artifact in will glow green for a bit. So input all 5 and then you can start the boss fight, so let's just get set up. The weapons we will be using will be either your loadout weapon, so the Breacher or the Ion, and the Jager and the Wonder Weapon. The Jager is a wall buy in the spawn, and make sure that is not your 3rd mule kick weapon. If you do, you will drop it if you go down and use your equivalent exchange. So, and it's just kind of annoying, just being a little logistical thing. You go down, it drops, just gotta pick it back up. So, for me, I just like to use the Wonder Weapon as that because it's a lot bigger and it's a lot more obvious to pick up. It's like, okay, there it is, pick it back up. The pistols can be a little small and hard to see when you're in the boss fight. So get everything triple packed if you can. gold rarity on at least your Jaegers, or one of your weapons, and put on Shatter Blast. Gershes, perks, fully charged Frenzy Guard, and all that stuff. Here we go. Here's the boss fight. So to start the boss fight, you need to interact with the brain, and if you're on co-op, everyone needs to vote. So currently, as of recording, there is a strategy / cheese / glitch that allows you to use Frenzied Guard and spam the Wonder Weapon to melt a boss's phase. As long as this doesn't get patched, I highly recommend you save this strategy for the final phase. But the Breacher and the Jaeger do great damage, Ion as well, they all do great damage to the boss. The Jaeger, especially dual wield, melts this thing. The first phase is simple: kill zombies to collect souls, and interact with the brain to fire the cannon once those pillars are full. You need to do this 3 times, and that is the first phase. The first phase will shoot a laser that tracks you on the ground. The second phase will leave meteor fireballs on the ground. You can avoid this by sliding through if you have PhD with Environmentalist. Slide through and you don't take any damage. And the third phase will leave a poison mist effect in the low-lying areas of the map. So just make sure you're up on the high areas. Very straightforward. Use the poison mist phase to practice moving around the arena, as it is low gravity the whole time. What you want to do is jump from the top area to the middle stage area and back the whole time, either utilizing the stairs or jumping and spamming the wall jump button to climb up near where the brain jar is. Once this first health bar is down, the real boss fight begins. Simply spam the Wonder Weapon on the boss for a bit. This is the best way to get rid of the armor. At around 1/5 or 1/4 of the health, the armor will break and you will see a blue crit spot. Shoot this as much as possible with your bullet weapons. It will do some really big damage. During this phase, he will throw rocks at you. These are small rocks with a seemingly bigger hitbox than you would think, so just avoid the boss, as it will chase you down the whole time. Something to avoid entirely is the back corners of the map. If you get stuck back here with the boss, she will literally just shove you in a locker, and it gets kind of annoying. So yeah, try and avoid getting in that situation at all if possible. Just stick to the stairs area and the middle stage area as best you can. Shoot the boss when you can, don't get greedy. When this health bar is down, another phase will begin. This time, the boss will throw bigger rocks at you and also have a slam attack. Now this slam attack is more about jumping early versus being off the ground at all, as sometimes you will be in the air but get stunned anyway. Like, I was super high off the air, jumped way above the ground, still got stunned. Other times I'm like barely a pube hair off the ground and get stunned. Just, I don't understand. Best advice is to just constantly jump. Same thing here, remove the armor with the Wonder Weapon, then shoot the crit with the bullet weapon. So in this arena, there is a armor wall buy and also an ammo box, as you don't get max ammo and max armors after every phase, so just keep that in mind. Once down, the final phase will begin. Pick up the idol in front of the brain and get the Vaetherian's Blessing. This gives you infinite ammo and armor for about 1 minute. This is the worst phase, so use everything you have. Use the Wonder Weapon with Frenzy Guard spam. Sometimes this will just kill the boss out outright if done correctly. But if the boss still has health left, look out for the massive purple lightning on the ground now. This does massive damage to you, so avoid these areas at all costs. So as long as it's not the purple lightning rock attack, I honestly think it's worth it to just tank some of the boss's other attacks just to do damage. So you can throw your Gershes so the zombies don't bother you in this process. So let's say you go down and you just cannot get equivalent exchange to cooperate. You actually can just save quit on a solo game, and when you reload that save, you respawn right before the boss fight. Now you need to pass around so you can potentially save quit again, and boom, you can do the boss fight as many times as you'd like. You would just be progressing around each time. So just keep that in mind. This is nice to just not do the whole Easter egg again, because sometimes this boss is just a little bullshit. Like, you can just get absolutely lambasted. It's a little ridiculous sometimes. I think this is just completely fair, as sometimes the boss, just with the low gravity physics, it just, ugh. Anyways, once the 4th and final health bar is down, you have completed the Astra Malorum Easter egg, and thank you everyone for watching.